I'm pleased to introduce Solomon. Solomon, we did the two bathroom project for you. Would you be able to tell us what was the estimation stage like with us?
Yeah, I can remember you coming along, having a good chat. It was very detailed. You seemed very, very knowledgeable and very professional about your approach. You didn't cut any corners in regards to what needed to be said. You was honest about what could be done and what couldn't be done. And there was times where you even gave us advice in terms of what was good and what wasn't good. And we felt really comfortable in your hands to move things forward. The only thing that was left was the cost.
Thank you. So, how would you describe the communication before you even made a decision to who you're going to hire for a project? Well, what was the communication like from our side?
The conversation, I think it went from a verbal conversation to an email conversation between myself and a woman called Guitar, and yeah, it was clear. Any emails that I wanted was always responded to quickly enough. Apart from when there was a bit of a holiday, but everyone's entitled to that. And yeah, everything was clear. We went back and forth with negotiations. They were very reasonable, and in the end, we got to a point where we were both happy.
Thank you. And when you made this decision to go ahead with us, and on the day when we started, how do you think we manage on your projects in terms of preparation, looking after your house, preparing the flooring that you have, the carpets, and the team that we brought in?
Mm-hmm. You know what? I was actually quite shocked in regards to how thorough you was with making sure that the property was prepared for the job. Because I haven't, this is the first time we've done something like this, and I was quite happy for you just to go back and forth, because we was kind of aware that we was going to change the carpet.
Yeah.
But you and the worker, you lot stuck to your standards, and you put the underlay down, or the cover, the sheet down, and throughout the whole process, it was open. Although it wasn't the right cut, it wasn't ideal, but would rather have done that if it was in a position where the carpet was going to use.
Yeah.
I was confident that it was going to protect it, and if it wasn't, I'm sure that you would have come and replaced it.
That's right. And what do you think of the people that are brought in to work in your house, on your project?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, what they are like?
We've really, got to, although there was a bit of a language barrier, I felt the guy, Castas, was amazing. I think
Thank you.
he came in every single day. He was warm. He was very, very diligent with his work. He didn't seem to have many breaks. Me and my wife I always joke with my wife, I've never heard him go to the toilet. I've never heard him eat. I've never heard him even burp. So as far as I'm concerned, he's a machine. And any time I needed him to help with anything, he was fine. And just small things in terms of, as a human being, he was very interactive with my daughter. And that them sort of things, they're very heartwarming. And we would joke as well that every morning he would wake me up. He was my alarm. That's how structured he was. So that's just testament to the man that he is.
Thank you. And you had a look at the project from time to time as it was going along.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, what was the preparation like for the project? Did we use the right materials? Did we done it to the right standards?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of that?
In that regard, it's very difficult for me to judge, because this is the first time I've done anything like this, and probably going forward with somebody else, if I went with yourself or somebody else, I'd be able to compare.
Yeah.
But from what I can see, the job was done properly. There was no real mess. There was periods of times where I'd go into the room and I'd think there's nothing happened, but I clearly know what there was always things happening, and yeah, it was good. It was good. I don't have not much bad to say.
Thank you. And also, we assisted you to pick some of the sanitary ware and order on your behalf.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously there were some items that came out not to what you was expecting, and you had to exchange. And this whole process of ordering on your behalf, helping you to source the right bathroom suite,
mm-hmm.
What do you think of that? Was it useful for you as our client, or was it helpful?
I think you guys did brilliant in terms of helping us and bringing the material, and taking a lot of the hassle off our hands. Maybe going forward though, we'll probably do a bit more research so we know exactly what we're getting, and that's just a personal preference. I think if somebody didn't have probably the time, or I'm quite hands-on in life as well, so not everybody's like me. So, but with me in particular, I feel like if I would have taken the time away and found the stuff myself, then sent it to you a bit more, that would have been a bit better. But that's no, that's not something negative on you. That's something I need to address.
Thank you. And also, we helped you to recycle the rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think we did it at that point? Did you do it in the right manner?
Yeah, no. As I said, I think the main thing is that I never knew when things were happening, and to take rubbish upstairs, from downstairs, around little corners, hitting walls potentially, going through the door. There's no real, evidence that took place. So it's only, again, as I said, it's there's not, and he didn't leave a mess outside the house. The bit of grass that's left that was my decision to tell you. So that's not your responsibility. So there's no real evidence of you not taking anything from the house and damaging the place.
Thank you. And did we meet your budget and your expectations on this project? I know it wasn't cheap, but can you expand on this?
Yeah, I think it's hard because we had a few people come to our house and give us budgets and give us prices, and you guys kind of were in the middle in regards to where we wanted to be. And I would want to pay less. I'd always want to pay less, but you want to pay for a level of quality, and I didn't know you from Adam, so it's hard for me to know how good you're going to be. But I feel luckily for me, with the price, I think I've made the right decision.
Thank you.
The costs was a bit higher than what I would have expected long term, but I don't think there are many projects of any sort of size that sometimes you do go over budget, and some of that can be in our hands in regards to buying certain materials that are a bit more expensive. So it was good. I think we between us we created a bit of a relationship. We have a bit of jovial banter, and that's probably why you've managed to give me a price, and next time you give me even better price.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good.
And as probably we are not the first builders in your house, and you had some work in the past from electricians or plumbers or other tradesmen, and how would you describe us comparing to the others, and if there's any quality traits that stand out in your eyes and you would like to tell?
Professionalism. I would say that there's a level of trust now that I know that if I ask you to do a job, you'll either say yes, you can do it, or no. There won't be, I can do it, I'm not too sure, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to do a bad job. You'd rather say no, and I saw that a lot with you. And there was times where I'd think to myself, okay, why don't you just try? But you're like, no, that's not what we do. We stick to what we do. So that says to me that at least I know when you say yes, it's a green stamped yes, that it's going to be done well. And every single day you guys had we gave you a room, and predominantly that's where the mess was. And even there, it was still tidy, it was still organized. Every so often me and my wife will go in there to check certain materials, and we'll know where things were. So there was a level of organization in that respect as well, and there was no mess. There was every single time things were done, the place was hoovered, the place was wiped down every single time. And I'd compare, we had our lights done by a different company, and the house was upside down. The house was upside down. I'm still putting things up on in the roof in the loft that they took apart. I was for 2 days mopping the floor, dusting the place. So that just showed the difference in regards to professionalism and standards that two different builders may have.
Thank you. Thanks for that honesty. Also, last question, Salman. Would you recommend this, and would you have us again working in your house?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll recommend you. It's obviously down to price. Everyone's not as fortunate as we are to be able to hire somebody of your cost. Whether it might be cheap for somebody else, it might be expensive. But if cost wasn't an issue, I would always say this is come and look at our bathrooms. Come and look at come and look at the process. I've taken pictures. This is how it happened. It didn't disturb my wife. She was pregnant. It didn't disturb my daughter too much. My daughter loved the guy that came to work. You're a nice person, so I would always recommend I'll always recommend you. I think it's all about just creating relationships, and I think this is one of the better relationships I've made.
Thank you, Solomon. Thank you very much for your honest feedback,
Yeah.
and it's my pleasure to do business with you.
Pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.